All right, so you've probably seen this video making the rounds. It's just this insane lineup of cars worth over $250 million, and it just makes you stop and think, right? How on earth does one car end up being worth so much more than another? That's what we're going to dig into. We're going to dissect the price tag all the way from one single dollar up to $100 million.
And I mean, the difference is it's mind-blowing. On one end, you've got a car that is literally a rust bucket sold for $1. And on the other, a piece of automotive history that's treated more like a museum artifact. The gap between them isn't just about the money. It totally changes what the word car even means.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you get from here to here? What are all the different things that can pump up a price tag by like 100 million times? Well, let's get into it.
Okay, so our journey starts at the most basic level, what a car can actually do. In this first tier of value, it's all about function. The more wild and impressive the features, the higher that price tag climbs.
And you can see how quickly things escalate, right? We start with a $1 car that, maybe runs. Then boom, we jump to 6 figures for a Tesla that drives itself. But then we get into the truly bonkers stuff. A car that can literally survive an explosion, one that turns into a boat, and yeah, even one that actually flies.
Let's just pause on this number for a second. $300,000. This is the point where features go from cool gadgets to, well, military-grade hardware. So, what does 300 grand get you? Basically, your own personal tank. We're talking armor that's literally explosive-proof, windows so thick they'll stop bullets, and it can even throw up a smokescreen like something out of a James Bond movie. And this isn't just talk. They actually blew it up on camera, and it just drove away. So the value here is crystal clear. It's about doing one thing, keeping you safe to a completely insane level.
But after this, the whole reason for a car's value kind of flips. We move away from practical things, even extreme practical things like safety, and we just dive headfirst into pure novelty, stuff cars were never, ever meant to do.
And this car? It's the perfect example. For $500,000, you get a car that turns into a boat. And the way it works is almost silly. You just drive it straight into the water, hit a button, the wheels fold up, and a propeller kicks in. The entire value is wrapped up in that one single amazing party trick.
And this quote, it just perfectly captures the peak of what value as a feature means. A street-legal car that can fly. It's the ultimate what if, right? The childhood dream made real. And for that, you're looking at over $500,000.
All right, so now the whole game changes again. We're leveling up. It's not just about what a car can do anymore. Now it's about how ridiculously well it does the one thing it's supposed to do: drive. Welcome to the world of insane performance, obsessive engineering, and, you guessed it, insane price tags.
And that leads us to this very specific, very special class of vehicle, the hypercar. Look, these aren't just fast cars. They're the absolute top of the food chain. Their value is measured in things like fractions of a second, in grams of weight, and in how few of them even exist on the entire planet. And the price, well, it reflects that. We are making a massive leap now all the way to $10 million for one car, the Koenigsegg Vader.
So how in the world do you justify a $10 million price tag? Well, it's built on a foundation of pure extremity. First off, it's the only one in existence, period. The paint, it's not just paint. It's got actual crushed diamonds mixed into it. The frame is so light, the whole car weighs 500 pounds less than a Lamborghini. And all that adds up to one thing. It is the fastest production car in the world. Every single part of it is pushed to the absolute limit, and that's where that value comes from.
Now let's put that up against another absolute legend, Jay Leno's McLaren F1, which is somehow worth even more, $20 million. And if you look at them side by side, you see the difference. The Koenigsegg is the modern king, all twin turbos and raw power. But the McLaren, its claim to fame is different. It's the fastest naturally aspirated car ever. No turbos. Its value comes from a kind of engineering purity, plus it's just an absolute icon.
And this is where a totally new idea comes into play: investment. See, Jay Leno bought his McLaren back in '98 for $800,000. Today, it's worth $20 million. Think about that. That car has basically made him $1 million for every single year he's owned it. At this level, a car stops being just a car. It becomes a blue-chip asset. Its value is something you can't even really touch.
And that idea of intangible value, it leads us to the final and most abstract layer. We're leaving the spec sheets and performance numbers behind now. In this territory, a car's value is almost entirely about its story, its history, its soul.
Check this out, a $30 million Ferrari. Its value has absolutely nothing to do with how fast it is. Why is it worth so much? Because it is a one-of-one, custom-built as a personal gift from Enzo Ferrari himself to Henry Ford II. It's not just a car, it's a physical monument to a moment in time between two giants of the industry.
And this quote just says everything, doesn't it? During the filming of the video, this $30 million car just stalled right in the middle of the road. It's the perfect proof that its value has completely separated from its ability to function as a car. I mean, it could break down every time you start it, and it would still be worth $30 million because you're not buying the engine, you're buying the history.
Okay, now let's push it even further. A $50 million Jaguar. This car's incredible value boils down to one name, Steve McQueen. This was his car, his daily driver. The value here is a direct link to a cultural icon, the king of cool.
And it's stories like this that actually build the value. This wasn't some pristine car he kept locked away. McQueen drove this thing. He drove it so hard, he got so many speeding tickets, that he actually got his license suspended while driving it. That little piece of rebel history, it's now part of the car's DNA, and that's what makes it so valuable.
So this brings us to the very top of the mountain, the $100 million car. At this point, honestly, we're not even talking about a car anymore. We're not talking features or speed or even who owned it. We're talking about a priceless historical artifact. Just let that number sit there for a minute. $100 million. For that much money, you could buy a whole fleet of hypercars, a private jet, or you could buy this one car.
And how they treat this car tells you everything you need to know. It's not just a Ferrari, it is the very first Ferrari ever made. Because of that, there's only one person on the entire planet who is even allowed to drive it. To get it on the road for this video, they had to have the police shut down all the streets. They even hired a crew to go and fill in every single pothole to make sure the ride was perfect. You don't do that for a car. You do that for something like the Mona Lisa.
And really, that's the perfect question to leave you with. We've gone from a simple machine to a high-performance weapon to a piece of rolling history, and finally to something that's basically a museum piece. It really seems like the more a car is worth, the less it's actually treated like a car at all. So what do you think? At what point does a car stop being a car?